So, ethical egoism. That is what is going on this week in critical thinking. So, oh man. Before we get started, I did want to point out to you guys, I am doing a giveaway, and this giveaway has 2 requirements in order for 1 entry. You subscribe to my Facebook, which it's 99 cents to subscribe. And I only have 1 subscriber. So it'll be pretty easy to see who subscribed to my Facebook. And number 2, subscribe to my YouTube. And so I have my YouTube link in my bio. And to make it easier for you guys, I am looking at Linktree so that I can organize everything to 1 link. But it is going to be a pretty big giveaway. That being said, September 19th is the drawing at 7 p.m. I would like to have more than 1 entry, which I only have 1 entry into this drawing. And so you guys subscribe, and then, yes, stay subscribed, because September 19th is the drawing for the giveaway. Now, if you have stayed on to this point, and I apologize about my phone, I didn't, so I could read this, I'm not using my laptop. So, what is ethical egoism? I would be acting in my own interests while exercising moral and ethical boundaries. For example, I'm a certified community support worker, certified family peer support navigator. Let me write that in while I'm thinking about that. Family. I have worked with people who have multiple diagnoses. Some of those clients were addicted and homeless. If I am not careful to maintain ethical and moral boundaries, I can burn out quickly. It can cause me to lose the employment that I have. When I properly take care of myself by eating healthy, getting plenty of sleep, seeing a therapist, and putting God above everything else, that is practicing ethical egoism. What are the strengths of ethical egoism? One of the strengths I noticed in the reading stated, Smith does not advocate being a selfish, cold-blooded person. Instead, he argues that mutual kindness is necessary for happiness. So, well, there's technically 2 right there. A person who is practicing ethical egoism is not selfish and knows how to benefit from practicing mutual kindness. What are the weaknesses of ethical egoism? Ethical egoism is inconsistent, cannot give a moral direction, justifies immoral actions, and is not able to promote social good while promoting one's own interest. The author also stated that the biggest problem for ethical egoism is that it fails to be a moral theory because it can't deal with interpersonal conflicts of interest. How about that? Here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. How does ethical egoism compare with the Bible? Because I kind of said a little backward. How does ethical egoism compare with the Bible? This is where it gets interesting. Because ethical egoism is about self-interest in the long term. The Bible is about long-term sacrifice of self. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay one's life down for one's friends." The Bible has different examples of what that are different examples that are opposite of what ethical egoism is. In John 13, hang on. In John 13, there is a perfect example. There is the perfect example of the conflict between self-interest and being selfless. Judas Iscariot was tempted to turn Jesus over to his enemies. Jesus knew he came from God, and God put everything under his power. Jesus uses the Last Supper as an opportunity to teach the disciples that the slave is not more important than his master, and by his actions use servant leadership. What is my perspective on ethical egoism? It feels very contradictory and against everything I've been taught. I've been taught that I need to seek God before everything else. If I diligently seek God, He will provide for me. I don't have to worry about anything. Ethical egoism says it's okay to be selfish and self-seeking. There are no rules. I thrive on boundaries and rules. Those are there for a reason. God put them there. I would rather follow God than myself. I've gotten myself put in jail so many times for the dumbest things. God's way isn't going to lead me to jail. At least not today, that is. I really wanted to share that with you guys because of the fact that there's been a lot of selfishness and just stuff on the internet, and it's like, it gets real disheartening when all this selfishness is going around and all you want is for some people to be a little kind to others. Out of the goodness of their heart. So today, I challenge you to seek God above everything else. Seek God above everything else. Put Him first. Obey His word. Choose what He is saying to you to do instead of what the world is saying to do. And I promise you're going to feel a lot better. So have a good night, you guys. God bless you. God keep you. And make His face shine upon you and give you peace. Amen.